Welcome to U.S. Law Shield News Update in Houston, Texas. I'm Sam Malone. Thanks for joining us here on Facebook Live. As always, joined by U.S. Law Shield independent program attorney Emily Taylor, joining us via Skype. Question we want to get to today from the news desk involves the sheriff in Dallas County, Lupe Valdez. The sheriff there in Dallas County is a member of Gabby Gifford's gun control group, according to this article from Breitbart, solidly against concealed carry for law-abiding citizens on a national basis. Like Gifford's, Michael Bloomberg's, and others, Valdez is calling for Congress to refuse to pass legislation that would make the concealed carry permit of one state valid in every state. Now, walk us through that. The concept being that if I have my CHL here in the great state of Texas and I visit New Jersey, I should have what? Access and all the rights I have there, correct?
Yes, we're actually looking at the same concept that we've used for ages regarding driver's licenses, marriage licenses. Basically, that if your state has given you one of these very important things, the other states are supposed to recognize that thing and give it what we call full faith and credit. Thus far, handgun licenses have not been treated that way, but there's really no reason not to treat them that way. Sheriff Valdez has come out and joined this anti-gun group who believes that they should never be treated that way, which is a strange step, I think.
And you brought up the driver's license, my Texas driver's license. I travel a lot. I go to Philadelphia to rent a car, and I give my driver's license to the rental car, and they go, "Thank you, sir. Here's your car key." So they recognize my driver's license. When my wife and I show up, and I guess we say we're married, they recognize our marriage. Right? Why the discrimination against my Second Amendment right?
You know, I think that the argument against recognizing licenses nationwide is, well, what if there's some state out there that, you know, lets all kinds of crazy criminals get a handgun license, and then they're going to send those people down to our state and let them carry, which is really kind of ridiculous. I mean, the state of Texas already recognizes licenses from states that have looser requirements than the state of Texas does. In fact, there are many Texans who go out and get a Florida license to carry, which they can use in Texas, just like a Texas license. But they do that because Florida has some looser restrictions. So if you had, a troubled childhood and when you were 20 years old, you took a deferred adjudication on a burglary of a habitation, Texas is not going to let you have a handgun license. Florida will, and then Texas will let you carry. So, this argument that, it's going to let all these bad people with handgun licenses into the state is really just crazy, because if that's your argument, then show me where it's become a problem already, since we already do it.
Well, every time our Second Amendment rights come up, Emily, there's people who say this scenario is going to happen. When concealed carry passed in Texas, I think it was under Governor George Bush, people say, there's going to be a shootout on every corner. When open carry passed in the last state legislature, it was the same knuckleheads yelling, it's going to be a shootout on every corner. Neither of those two events ever took place in the decades since we've had. Why are they still using the same old argument?
I wish I could tell you, because it's the only one they have, quite frankly. I think what's really troubling, I'll make a prediction of my own. And that's that I am very troubled for the lawful gun owners and the people who carry concealed in Dallas County. And here's why. Because when the elected official has such a strong stance, it has to trickle down to her deputies there. Wow. She's imposing policies. They are going to have to follow those policies. And quite frankly, I think that it just scares me for the people in Dallas County, because what kind of crazy, strong anti-gun stance are her deputies going to be encouraged to take against lawful gun owners in sort of throwing the book at them and getting them prosecuted for things?
Emily Taylor, independent program attorney with U.S. Law Shield. You're right. It is very scary when you have the Second Amendment, right? The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed and such. And someone in law enforcement takes what definitely looks like an anti-Second Amendment stance. It's very troublesome. It's very worrisome. kind of don't want our politicians and elected officials and law enforcement officials to go down that path.
And it's unusual in Texas for an elected sheriff to hold that belief. Generally speaking, our law enforcement is very pro-Second Amendment. They like to encourage licensed carry and, having good guys having guns out there with them. And so it's unusual to have an elected sheriff who would think this strongly about this issue, but, it's as unusual as it is worrisome.